Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. There was no video yesterday because I was a little tied up. So obviously the markets were down yesterday quite a bit. So we're going to take a look at what happened there. The miners were down. I think the only one that was up was Dow Jones was up yesterday, but everything else was pretty much down that we cover at least. So we'll get into that. We also have a story to talk about, which is the SEC has approved the BlackRock application for the ETF. Now it's going into the review process. So we'll take a look at what that actually means. And then we'll take a look at how the miners performed against Bitcoin this past week. They did a great job. It would have been an even better job if we didn't have a red day yesterday. So we'll get into all that. But as always, you guys know this. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please, please, please do your own research. And I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoyed this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. So let's get into the markets here. Take a look at what happened yesterday. Since the markets are closed today on Saturday, so the S&P was down 0.1%, Dow Jones was up 0.33%, NASDAQ was down 1.09%, Bitcoin was down quite a bit here. Bitcoin was down approximately 3.63%. It closed at 30,330. It is still range bound here. Basically, we did go above our kind of rectangle here that we've been trading in, but then definitely pulled quickly below it again. So we're still range bound here. No real decisiveness as far as which way Bitcoin wants to go. We'll keep an eye on this. We're about 11 to 12 days away from the FOMC meeting, which is going to be on July 26th. At that point, we'll see how much of an interest rate hike we get or if we even get one. Okay, if that's going to happen, typically, like I've stated before, when that happens, here's the last time it happened, Bitcoin did go down. We'll see if that's going to happen again. Now, with the RSI on the Bitcoin right now, it's at 54. We're looking on the daily chart. We can see the last time, back here, price was pretty close to it as it is, but the RSI was much higher. So I think there's more room for us to go up. I think we may come down here, possibly test this 28,600 line before everything's said and done after the FOMC meeting happens, and then we might go back up. That definitely is going to give us a little bit more room to run. Okay, Ethereum was also down yesterday. It was down 3.34%. It closed at 1,938. Okay, RSI is looking pretty good still on that one as well. If you see it's at 56. Price last time was back here. RSI is lower. Price is about the same, so that's good there as well. Okay. Next, the miners. So the miners, for the most part, were all down except for one, it looks like. So ANY was down 10.47% on the day. On the week, we'll take a look at that in a little bit here, but on the week, the miners did a really good job here. Argo was down 18.06% on Friday. BitDigital was down 6.8%. BitDeer, it was up 1.97%. I'm still working on getting all the details for my spreadsheet for them. That will be coming out, hopefully. I'm not going to say it's going to be definite tomorrow. I'm hoping it's going to be tomorrow, though. I still got to get a lot of the data in, put it in there. So when that happens, I'll let you guys know. And then Bitfarms was down 5.74%. Cypher was down 5.76%. CleanSpark was down 7.63%. Full disclosure note, I did buy some more shares yesterday on the dip. I bought 150 more shares at $6.94. Okay. So full disclosure on that. Core Scientific was down 11.77%. DigiHost was down 9.72%. DMG was down 13.25%. Greenidge was down 4.88%. Hive was down 9.94%. Hut 8 was down 6.94%. Iris Energy was down 7.87%. Marathon was down 6.37%. Mawson was down 17.65%. They pretty much took out any of the gains they had in the last 3 days or so. Riot was down 5.77%. Soluna was down 13.11%. Stronghold was down 13.34%. And TerraWolf was down 9.04%. So as you can see, the miners had a pretty bad day. I'm attributing this to basically profit taking. We've had a nice rally in the miners over the last week, 2 weeks even. We may see a little bit more profit taking come Monday. We'll see. But this is attributable, so possibility of a buying opportunity here if you buy the dips and dollar cost average in. Okay. All right. So that's it for that. Let's take a look at now our cash rate, see where that stands right now, as we didn't cover it yesterday. So we should have some new updates here as well. On the 7-day average, it has come back down a little bit to 392 million terahashes right now. And on the 1-day average, it is, well, it was spiking down and then it spiked back up a little bit here to 369 million. Okay. So it's still kind of trading sideways, or not trading. It's, well, performing sideways at least. First story that we have here. SEC accepts BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF application, signaling regulatory review. This is going to take anywhere from 45 days initially. They can kick the can down the road a little bit longer to, I believe, like 200 some odd days before they actually have to make a final decision on it. But here's what we got. The SEC's acknowledgement indicates the commencement of the official review process for BlackRock's ETF proposal. While it is an initial step in the lengthy regulatory journey, It signals the SEC's readiness to explore the idea of a spot Bitcoin ETF and assesses its potential market effects. So that's good. So we started that process. BlackRock's entry into the spot Bitcoin ETF race is significant due to its stature in the financial industry. Its filing for the spot Bitcoin ETF included an agreement with surveillance sharing with cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase. So this is one of those things that the SEC has always basically put out there when they've been declining other spot Bitcoin ETFs is manipulation, right? They believe that there's a lot of manipulation in the markets with Bitcoin. This hopefully will kind of alleviate some of those issues that they have. And this is why we possibly might get one, if not at the end of this year, possibly sometime next year. The competition among companies vying to be the first to launch a Bitcoin ETF in the United States is seen by many as a positive development for the crypto industry. I would agree with that. I mean, you have a lot of players now trying to get for it. And with that many, I mean, the SEC's got to think maybe there isn't anything wrong with having a spot Bitcoin ETF. Other countries have it. Why can't we get one as well? So with multiple filings, the chances of success increase with diverse proposals enabling the SEC to assess different strategies and concerns. Okay. And that's it. So we'll see how this goes forward. I'm kind of positive on this. I think eventually we will get one. Maybe not this year, but possibly next year. And it's just, we'll see. If I'm sure there's there's lawsuits happening right now as well. We'll see where those go. So we'll see. Okay. So that's it for that one. And let's take a look at how the miners performed this past week. And here's what we have. The charts that we always cover here are the 52-week lows and from the 52-week highs. Green bars are how much the miners are up from the 52-week lows. A lot of those have been around end of December, beginning of January. We can see that core is up the most. Core was down to 4 cents, I think, at one point before, because of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but they actually started to improve a lot there. So they're up 2,095% if you bought them back at roughly 4 cents. Cypher has also done phenomenally well this year. It's up 1,185%. Then you got Bit Digital is up 675%. DigiHost is up 619%. Iris is up 600%. So those are top performers right there, the top 5. Then you got TeraWolf, Riot, Marathon, Argo, Hut 8, Bitfarms, Hive, CleanSpark, DMG. And Mawson barely beating out Bitcoin here at 95% right now. And then the lagger here is Sphere 3D with up only 20% so far this year. Okay. Now on the red bars, we have how much the miners are away from their 52-week highs. We can see that core is still quite a ways out, along with Argo, Mawson, and Sphere. Core is going to be a tough one to possibly crack that, mainly because they are in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. If they do get out of it, we'll have to see how much share dilution there is on the shareholders and what that would actually mean for the stock price getting back up to this 52-week high, which I don't think is going to happen, but I think we can maybe get halfway there, possibly. And then Argo. Argo is another tough one because their growth is pretty much limited to another 300 petahash being added to their 2.5 exahash that they currently have. That's not going to be enough, I think. They need to grow a heck of a lot more to get back to their previous 52-week high. Mawson is another one that's kind of tricky there. We'll have to see how they do. Sphere has been performing pretty well here in the last couple of months. We're still waiting on a monthly update for them for June. Along with, I think, Mawson. I don't know if Mawson has provided. There's too many that I'm covering here, so I might be off. But we'll take a look at which ones haven't provided their numbers yet. Based on Sphere 3D, they've had a tough, basically, year and a half. I mean, they were stuck pretty much all of last year at 100 petahash. They couldn't get stuff delivered, installed, whatever it was the case. They had legal issues. They're still going through some legal issues there, so that's a tough one there. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. And they're getting close to being fully installed from where they're supposed to be. Okay, some of the other ones here that are much closer to their 52-week highs, you got Cypher, Bit Digital, DigiHost, Iris, TeraWolf, Riot, Marathon, Hut 8, Bitfarms, Hive, CleanSpark, DMG, and obviously Bitcoin. I think those can definitely get to their 52-week highs here within the next couple of months, as long as Bitcoin stays where it's at or goes up even a little bit higher. Right? We've seen a great performance from the miners here in the past couple of weeks, since the beginning of the year, actually. So I think it's going to probably continue going forward, especially as we get into the halving event next year. Okay, now when we look at their weekly performance here against Bitcoin, we can see here that Bitcoin is only up 0.41%. And this is based on Friday to Friday. So I track it from Friday to Friday, as basically the miners only trade during the week. So Bitcoin, for me at least, is up 0.41% from last Friday to this Friday that just happened yesterday. The miners that have done the best are DMG's up 41%, TeraWolf is up 33%, Cypher is up 31%, Riot up 23%, Argo is up 17%. So those are the top 5 performers for this week as far as percentage gains. And you got Marathon, Bitfarms, CleanSpark all pretty much at 15 there. You got DigiHost, Mawson, Hut 8, Hive, and Iris. And BitDigital performed a little bit better than Bitcoin did. Core was up, well, lower than Bitcoin along with Sphere 3D. Sphere 3D was actually down 15.65% on the week. So that's on the weekly. Let's take a look at the 4 weeks here really quick. We'll do that as well. And on the 4 weeks, we can see here that TeraWolf is up 95%, Cypher up 69%, Riot is up 64%, Iris up 55%, CleanSpark is up 50%. Those are top 5 in the last 4 weeks. If you bought back then you got DMG, Hive, Marathon, Hot 8, Core, Bitfarms, DigiHost, Argo doing better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is actually down 0.75% from 4 weeks ago, which is interesting. Because usually the miners follow, in a sense, Bitcoin the way it goes. Whether if Bitcoin goes up, miners usually go up. If Bitcoin goes down, they usually go down. But they go up leveraged way, and they go down also a leveraged way. Okay, so that's kind of interesting that the miners are way outperforming Bitcoin right now. Then we got Mawson being down, along with BitDigital and Sphere 3D. So those have lagged Bitcoin's performance. And then let's take a look at the 8 weeks as well. And on the 8 weeks, we can see here that you got Core is up 140%, TeraWolf up 134%, Hut 8 is up 111%, Iris is up 105%, and then you got Cypher up 105% as well. So those are top 5 right there for the last 8 weeks. And then the following ones have done also really good is Marathon, Hive, DMG, Bitfarms, Riot, Argo, CleanSpark, BitDigital, DigiHost, and Bitcoin's up 14% from 8 weeks ago. And the laggards are Mawson and Sphere 3D, with Sphere 3D being down actually negative on that one. And then finally, if we look at it here on the 12 weeks, from 12 weeks ago, Core is up 133%, Hut 8 is up 132%, Cypher is up 112%, BitDigital is up 107%, TeraWolf is 97%, so those are the top 5 from 12 weeks ago. Then you got Hive, Marathon, Iris, CleanSpark, Bitfarms, DMG, Riot, Argo. DigiHost doing much better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only up 3.84% from that time frame. And you got Mawson and Sphere 3D, again, underperforming Bitcoin as it is. Okay, so we've had a fantastic run in the miners compared to Bitcoin, typically. We'll have to see how much longer this is going to last. I wonder if we're getting kind of overheated here with the miners. I think a lot of people saw what was happening with the miners earlier on with the huge percentage gains, and a lot of people have been getting into it. We may start seeing people starting to basically sell out of them a little bit to take profits, but we'll see how much of an effect that's going to have going forward. Okay. Now, when we look at the charts here, or the data for the last 1 week, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 12 weeks, we can see we have a lot more green here than we have in the past. We're also starting to see here in the weekly. We had a very, very nice week last week, the prior week as well. 3 weeks ago wasn't that great, but 4 weeks ago was pretty good. We're starting to see more green weeks than we are seeing red weeks, which is also a good trend to see. Okay, so that's it on that one. Let's take a look at the miners that still haven't reported their production updates here. And we have a couple of them here, I believe. Yeah, we still have Mawson. Mawson hasn't provided theirs yet. We're still waiting on them, along with Sphere 3D. Those guys are like always the last ones to provide the information, usually like 2.5, 3 weeks out, which to me is just ridiculous. Everybody else provides their numbers pretty much within 5 to 7 days. You should know what the numbers are. It's not that hard to put out a tweet, not too hard to put out a press release. But we'll give them the chance here to get this done by the end of the month. If they don't, they're going to they're going to be put in my doghouse for not providing it. And then we'll see if they actually catch up a little bit here. So I usually give them about 2 months grace period to get caught up. If they don't, then they definitely get in the doghouse, and we'll see how they do going forward. But the other thing of this is, anytime a miner stops providing monthly production updates, that is always a concern to me. That's always signals problems on the inside, whether it's financing, financial problems or something like that, or other problems that might be happening as well. So we'll see how that goes forward. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. As always, this spreadsheets and everything else is available to my Patreon members. It's only $4 a month there. I think it's very inexpensive. I think it's one of the lowest memberships out there for anybody to join, and you get a lot of data with this as well. So eventually, I think I will have to raise the price up a little bit. I haven't raised the price in over, gosh, like 2 years almost, I think. So we're probably going to be due for a little bit of a price increase here going forward, because everything's gone up in price. So it's only natural that way. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see what happens later on this week. And if I get BitDeer information done for us tomorrow, we'll do a video on it. If not, we'll figure something else out. All right. So have a great weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.